What's up, everybody? Shauna D Man here. Welcome back to the channel. Hope you guys are doing great. Hope you guys are having yourselves a great Memorial Day weekend. We are back with episode 7 review of The Last of Us season 2. Only 2 episodes left before we are done with done with season 2 at least. It sounds like, yeah, because the other day I saw on Twitter that the actress playing Abby, season 3 is supposed to be revolved around her story. So basically us seeing her point of view. And then even talks of trying to do a season 4. I don't know what the ratings look like for this series. Probably not great. Especially with Pedro Pascal exiting the show, and then him being weird like off camera and stuff like that, if you know what I'm talking about. So episode 7 has us kind of continuation of what happened before in episode 6. Ellie makes her way back to the theater with Dina and Jesse. Meanwhile, Jesse is getting Dina cleaned up. Had to push and the arrow that she was struck with through, because he can't pull it out because it might hit an artery. He tries to offer her a drink and she's like no, very assertively. Maybe Jesse was like, okay, that's a little weird, but he manages to get it taken care of, get her bandage up. Ellie makes her way back, checks on Dina, and then they both kind of discuss what happened, because Ellie talked about how she just kept hitting Nora. It doesn't sound like Ellie killed her. It sounds like Ellie just left her there to be turned with the spores and things like that. And so I don't know if Ellie really had the intention of killing any of her Abby's friends that were involved with Joel's death. Probably the only person she might have mainly probably wanted to kill was Abby herself. And so then Dina I'm sorry, not Dina, but Ellie kind of tells Dina about what really happened and tells her everything what Joel did with the Fireflies at the hospital in Salt Lake, about how Joel killed Abby's dad, and that's why they came to Jackson to kill Joel. And Dina kind of like turns away from Ellie. I don't know if she was like just in disgust about it and things like that. But obviously Ellie's like, I knew about it. And probably for a while, a good bit at this point. Obviously, we learned from episode 6. No, I'm sorry. Episode 5 was where Dina got struck with the arrow. Episode 6 was the flashbacks. That's right. Anyway, beside the point. So the plan is in the morning, they're gonna Ellie and Jesse are gonna go find Tommy, get him, and then they're gonna leave. They're gonna head back. They're gonna go home. And there is a conversation. When they are leaving, because they're gonna leave Dina because she can't barely walk, so Dina's gonna stay. Jesse and Ellie are gonna go, and they're making their way through Seattle. And Jesse's telling her like, they had a couple of close calls, or at least he did. They split up. They found like the most likeliest path into Seattle, and then they split up to do like a 2-mile radius to try to look for them, and which is how Jesse came across the theater. And Jesse was like, you could tell he's aggravated about something, because he's just talking about the way he was just like, Dina, the woman I know who doesn't pass up a free drink, refused a drink. And he basically guesses that she's pregnant. Ellie kind of confirms it, but Ellie's like, listen, she's gonna tell you, just act surprised when she does, and that kind of thing. And Jesse kind of, because one of the things Jesse says was that Dina said, I can't die, or don't let me die. I can't remember the exact phrasing of it, but basically he took out of it like, I can't die is what Dina said. And so now Jesse's like, his motivation is that he can't die because he has to get everybody and his kid out of Seattle, out of this war zone. And as they're traveling, they come across a bunch of wolves and a Scar, like just a kid, probably like a teenager. And I don't know what they do with him. They strip him down and drag him off somewhere. Ellie wants to help, but Jesse's like, no, this is not our fight. And this episode kind of, Jesse's right in a lot of this, in a lot of portions of this episode. But Ellie wanted to help. Jesse's like, no, this isn't our fight. These two, if let these two kill each other all they want, we're not going to get involved. We're gonna get Tommy, get Dina, and we're gonna go back to Jackson. And so they make their way back to the bookstore where Tommy and Jesse were staying, or at least I guess probably like the rendezvous point. And they kind of just talk for a little bit. And Jesse tells Ellie how there was a group that came to Jackson from Alberta, was traveling, passing through, and I guess he was in love with this woman, best 2 weeks of his life. And she asked to go with him, but he was like, no. He basically stayed in Jackson because they took him in, they raised him, and he's supposed to be the next leader of Jackson after Maria, Tommy's wife. And so it gets a little tension going, because Jesse basically just says, I was taught to put people before themselves, whereas we see with Ellie, she's out looking for herself. This whole revenge tour that she's going on is more about her than it is about everybody else. And so it gets a little tension, but it's broken up because Jesse, another fair point. Jesse was like, if I had went to Mexico with this girl, then I wouldn't have been here in Seattle to save you, which is another fair point. And so basically then what happens is that they hear gunshots, and not necessarily gunshots. And they hear the radio come open, because at the beginning, Isaac's orders were to not be on the radio, go silent, only communicate verbally, like in person, don't use the radios. And so they hear that there's a sniper that's pinned down some of the wolves, and they deduce that it's probably Tommy. He's over by the pier. And so the plan is, we're going to go to him because the wolves have called for backup. They get to like a high rise. They get to the top of a building. I guess it's the same bookstore. They get to the top, and they get to the top, and they can hear the gunshots and everything. Jesse wants to go help Tommy because, again, backup has been called by the wolves. Ellie figures out that Abby is hiding out at the aquarium, and so she wants to go do that. And so right here, it gets very aggressive, because Ellie's like, it's all about the community. That's why you didn't want to help that kid, because he's not part of our community. And she was just like, F your community and all this stuff. My community was beaten and killed in front of me. And I don't think, again, this is my viewpoint, Ellie being being selfish. And so it's just, I just don't agree with the way she's acting. And again, you can understand why she's being as aggressive as she is, because she really wants this. She really wants the revenge against Abby. But needless to say, they split up, go to separate ways. Jesse goes to find Tommy and help him. Ellie goes to find Abby. So Ellie goes and finds a boat, and she's getting ready to take a boat to the aquarium. But Isaac and some of the wolves show up and grab some gear, and looks like they're heading off to like an island, which Isaac talked about earlier, where there's a good chance where tomorrow, or like in the morning tomorrow, you'll be dead, I'll be dead. And the plan was for Abby to take over. I guess Abby was so good, like Isaac viewed the leadership of Abby so good, that he was going to put her in charge if something happened to him. So we see like there's like four, about five, six, seven boats of wolves going to this island. Ellie gets her boat. She starts making her way, runs into a giant wave, which washes her up on the same island. Which apparently I don't know if like the headquarters of the wolves, but um, she encounters some wolves, and they obviously they mistake her for um uh sorry, I'm trying to grab something. For a wolf, and Ellie's like, I'm not a wolf, I'm not a wolf. And she looks to the kid and she's like, tell them, and the kid just basically like does like basically like slit her. I was like, oh my god, kid, chill. But that's when gunfire erupts, and the wolves that we saw earlier with the boats, like the five, six, seven boats, was I think they are here. They've come to assault. It's not like their village. No really telling how large it is, but we do see explosions happen when Ellie is leaving the island after they kind of like let her go to go protect their village, and we see explosions off in the background. So I'm very curious, like how big was this place? Um, but she makes her way to the aquarium, goes in, and like I don't understand why she has like a flashlight. She has her flashlight on, and I'm just like, if you're sneaking into an enemy base and you have your flashlight on, you kind of give them a heads up. Like I understand, like you probably need to see, um, point out things and stuff like that. Sure, I guess, but I was like, turn off your flashlight. She finds two of the other people, Owen and I believe Mel. And it sounds like Abby, again, this kind of goes back to the beginning. It sounds like Abby has been missing. Mel and Owen have also been missing. Like they've gone missing as well. So I'm very curious to know about what that's about. But Ellie finds them, holds them at gunpoint, and basically tells them that, where's Abby? You were just talking about her. And there's a map that he was pointing at, and she says, point on a map where Abby is slowly, and I'm not here to hurt you. I just want Abby. And he goes to try to pull a gun, and Ellie hits the quick fire, and she gets him. Because I didn't see this at first, but she gets him. Looks like I think in the neck. I think it was like in the neck. Hold on, let me see. I think it was in the neck. Hang on, real quick. Oh wait, go back. I went too far. Let me see. Yeah, 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 yeah. She got him in the neck, and I guess it looks like she fired twice. Got him in the neck, and it went through his neck, hit Mel, and she falls to the ground. Come to find out, she's pregnant. She wants Ellie to do a C-section to save the baby. Ellie doesn't know how to do it. Mel tried to talk her through it, but she's lost so much blood that she basically she dies from bleeding out, and Ellie just doesn't save the baby. Like she just leaves the baby there to die. Um, I mean, I would have. I don't know if it's like that in the game or not. Honestly, I have no clue. Um, but I mean, it's kind of dark just leaving the baby to die like that. Um, this I guess it's dark. It is dark. But Tommy and Jesse come to find Ellie, and they get her, and they head out, and make it back to the theater. They're getting ready to get ready to head out in the morning. Tommy leaves Jesse and Ellie to kind of like chit chat, and you know Jesse's like, yeah, I came back because it was the right thing to do, and he knew that like if he was in trouble, Ellie would burn the whole world just to come and save him. And then we hear a lot of shouting and not necessarily. I don't think I heard gunfire, but it was primarily shouting. And both Jesse and Ellie go running out the door of the auditorium of the theater, and Jesse is shot like that, and he's killed right then and there. Come to find out, Abby found him, and she was like, "You killed me," and she's like, "Throw your gun out, show yourself," and Ellie comes out, and it's just like the face on Abby's face is like, "You," and she was like, I'll let you live." And Ellie's like, "I killed your friends. I'm here for you. You're here for me. Let Tommy go." And then last thing we see is Abby turning the gun, and sounds like firing. Then it goes to black. Then we go all the way back, because throughout the episode they were doing like Seattle day 2, Seattle day 3. They were doing numbers. It goes back to Seattle day 1, and we see how well the Wolves are equipped. They set up their camp inside of a stadium, which actually is pretty genius, to be honest. They set their camp up inside of a stadium, and it closes with that. So Jesse's dead. I mean, I like Jesse. I thought he was a good character. So we got 2 episodes left. That's relatively it for this episode. We got 2 episodes left of season 2 of The Last of Us. So we'll see. We'll see how these two. I really want to know what the numbers are for this series, because it just sounds like more and more people are not really becoming invested in this series. So I'm very curious to see on how this is going for them. But we'll who knows? We'll see. But guys, that's relatively it. If you're new to the channel, be sure you hit that like and subscribe button. Be sure you comment below. Tell me what you guys thought about the episode. Have a great Memorial Day, and I will see y'all in the next video. Y'all have a good one.